For this kind of when we talked on the phone, but just to get it on camera, just in a nutshell, tell me about your journey.
So I started into a health journey in January 2018. It wasn't really anything that I had planned. I mean, I had researched the keto diet and stuff like that starting like November 2017, but it wasn't anything that I was really willing to commit to. I had been morbidly obese for probably, I would say, about 12 years. Morbidly obese. And I don't know, whenever I woke up, New Year's Day, that day, the very first thought that popped into my head was just like, if I would die, my children would have no pictures of me to remember me by. Like, there's very, very few pictures of me. And not only would they not have pictures of me to remember me by, but they have no pictures of me and my children together. Like, I think my littlest boy at the time, he was 7 last year. He turned, and we only have one picture together, maybe two. So it was just like a very, very shocking thing to me. It wasn't even that I was worried that I was going to die because of my health. I was more worried because I would be leaving my children with nothing. And I don't know, it was just like after that moment, I was like, that's it, I'm done. And from that point forward, it's just been an amazing journey,
What was your starting weight?
My starting weight was 320.2 pounds.
Okay. And what are you at now?
I range anywhere from like 135 to 137. So I've lost about anywhere from like 180 to 185 pounds in 14 months.
And you're close to your goal now.
Yeah. I would like to get down to 125, but that's not like... For me, it's not about hitting a number. Like, if I can't get there, like, I figure my body will eventually just let me know whenever it's done losing weight. And it has slowed down, like, tremendously. Like, I've gone from losing, like, 23, 24 pounds a month, 15, 16 pounds a month to now just losing, like, 2 to 3 a month. So it's not anything that, like, I'm actively pursuing, like, I have to hit that number, I have to hit that number. Now that I'm getting lower, I'm just trying to focus more on just still better nutrition, things that I can improve on, still cutting out things that, even though I can lose weight by eating those, it still might not be the best option out there for me. There's still always things that you can do to improve your nutrition and health. So that's what I'm trying to focus on instead of like just a number on the scale.
Did that number have any significance at the beginning, the 125?
No.
Okay.
No, actually, my first goal, I honestly, when I started at 320, and my first goal was like, I just want to be 300. And then it was like, after that, it's like, okay, I just want to be 292, because I feel like I was 292 for like years and years, and like, it was like, well, I felt comfortable at that weight, or it's not that felt comfortable physically, but like, mentally, I was okay with being at that number. So it's just been small goals after small goals after small goals. I never even thought that I would make it this far to even think that like, 125 would be a realistic number.
What kept you going?
I don't know. I guess just determination. Like I said, I do have a lot of people that follow me and they message me and want to know how you do it or how you stick with it. And it's everybody has willpower. You just have to find it. And it's like whenever I first started, I would just focus on 24 hours at a time. Like, I couldn't even think about those first 20 pounds. Like, to me, that's overwhelming. So it was just like, I only have to make it through today. If I can make it through today and tomorrow I really, really want something, I'll allow myself to have it. And then it's just like you kept pushing it off, because then by the time you'd get to the next day, you'd be like, I only have to make it through today. So I've made it through 14, almost 15 months now, just getting through the day. And it's like, I haven't had a cheat meal or anything like that, because if you can make it through 24 hours, you can make it through anything, breaking down your goals. And I think another thing that worked for me is, although I haven't exercised up to this point, I did just recently start out with just some low impact exercises in February, but it's all been just changes in diet up to this point. For me and my personality, if I would have tried to change the way that I eat, and also incorporate exercise in, I can promise you right now I would still be 185 pounds heavier, because it would be too overwhelming to me. And I would probably give it 3 days and I would have stopped altogether. Mm-hmm. So sometimes I feel like you're better off having one major goal instead of having two minors. If something's not working for you, don't quit, just change it and find what does work for you. And personally for me, it's not that I don't want to exercise or that I can't exercise, I just had to do what worked for me.
So talk about what did work for you.
What worked for me was focusing on the nutrition and really making sure that I wasn't taking shortcuts. I know to a lot of people it might seem like I took shortcuts because I lost the weight so quickly. Losing weight is a motivating factor, but for me, it was more about nutrition and making sure that I was taking care of my body. I try to tell a lot of people, we have to remember weight loss is a side effect of good nutrition. Weight loss should not be your goal. My goal was to make sure that I was healthy so that I could be here for myself and be here for my children and to teach my family about making even healthier choices for themselves. So yeah, I think just focusing on nutrition and making sure that I wasn't eating just a lot of things that were quote unquote acceptable, and instead just making sure I was giving my body what it needs to be healthy, it made it so much easier because I was really changing my mindset instead of just changing what I was putting in my body. Like, I feel like, obviously you don't become morbidly obese without having some type of eating disorder, which for me was binge eating. And so I feel like with any type of addiction or disorder that you have to like fix it up here first before you can fix it anywhere else. Because if not, in my opinion, everything that you do will just be temporary if you don't fix the source of the problem.
And you followed the keto diet, correct?
I did. Whenever I started in January last year, I just kind of started by eliminating all sugars and just reducing my carbs significantly. And by the end of January, I was eating so few carbs, it kind of just evolved into the keto diet. And I was like very, very hesitant to start with the keto diet just because I didn't want to be like the stereotypical like overweight person who's doing the fad diet. And it's just like, not that I really care about the opinion of others. I don't know why I cared at that point in my life about the opinion of others. But I don't know. I just didn't want like that label put on me. But it's really has been what has worked for me. I mean, I have tried calorie restriction in the past, but that doesn't work for me. And it's just, that's what I try to tell the people that follow me on my page. Like, it's what I do might not work for you. You might not be satisfied with this way of eating. You might not feel that it's best for you and your health interests, but it's all about us finding what's best for you. And as long as you're making an effort to improve your health, no matter what measure you're taking, it's going to benefit you in the long run.
Did you have any background in nutrition, or how did you go from, it seems like 0 to 60, if you know what I mean, to just getting back on track?
No, I didn't have any background in nutrition. I mean, obviously we all know what is good for you and what is not good for you. And it just basically comes down to choices. Even when I first started, I kept my meals very, very basic. And even still to this day, my meals are very, very basic. And that's fine for me because it satisfies me. Not everybody has the same palate that I do and are satisfied with just, eating basic foods. But no, I just tried to keep it as simple as possible. I didn't want to overwhelm myself. I didn't want to get into all these complicated recipes. So yeah, that's just what I did.
Nice. So tell me about your social media pages.
So I started, I believe it was in January, I started just kind of like a personal blog page on Facebook called Get It Girl. And it kind of blew up overnight. I have almost 5,000 followers on there, and I kind of just talk about keto or health in general. I do a lot of like beauty stuff on there. I don't know, it's just a page where I like to just put everything that I love, or I try to encourage people and remind people to stay on track and stick with your goals. I'm very honest and upfront with them, even about like my personal goals. Like at the beginning of February, told them what my goals were for the month. At the end of February, I told them I basically failed all my goals for that month. That is what it is. Just because you don't hit your goals or you fail your goals doesn't mean you need to stop. You just need to realign your goals and keep working towards it. But I think a lot of people just find the page very inspiring because I'm very like open and honest about everything. I'm open and honest about my failures, the things that I struggle with, and I'm honest about my successes. I don't ever hide my success because I don't want to hurt somebody else's feelings that aren't succeeding. I just try to be encouraging to everybody, and I think they just appreciate the honesty, and they kind of like seeing into other people's lives and seeing how the weight loss has affected them or how they're living their lives or the things that they're still struggling with. It makes them feel better about their struggles.
And how does it make you feel that you've been this inspiration to so many people?
It's overwhelming. Like, I never in a million years would I ever think that I would be this weight, let alone people would be reaching out to me, asking me for help, because I was morbidly obese for so long. I mean, I just never would have even thought that I would be sitting here, explaining this to people or encouraging people. And it's just, before I even started my page, even just friends that I had on Facebook reaching out to me, being like, you've inspired me and my husband to make this change, or you've inspired me to do this, and to just be like, to be somebody's source of inspiration, it's completely mind-blowing, and it's amazing. It's a great feeling.
And something that you said that you are open about is the skin.
Yes.
So do you feel comfortable talking about that?
Yeah. I have a lot of loose skin. I feel like maybe I should have more than I do based on the amount of weight that I've lost. I have significant, I can even show you guys if you want to see it on my arms and stuff like that. But I have significant loose skin on my arms. Mm-hmm. So you can see all right here, that's all loose skin. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people message me and they're like, I want to lose weight, but I don't want loose skin. And it's like, the way that my body looks has nothing to do with nutrition and being healthy. Mm-hmm. So it's just something that I deal with. Surgery for me financially isn't an option at this point. Maybe 10 years down the road it will be, but I don't let it hold me back. People might not like looking at it. It is what it is. I always tell people, my body was messed up before I lost weight. It's messed up now. You just focus on the nutrition and being healthy and taking care of yourself, and it's not really important. But people are curious, and they want to see it, because everybody wants to know what a body looks like after extreme weight loss. And we see that on TV sometimes, but I think when you see it on TV, it's like, it seems so far from reality. I share it with everybody. I show people my stomach on my live videos and stuff like that. They just are really curious to see what it looks like.
So tell us about the things we can't see. Tell us about your health. How do you feel? How has your health improved?
I feel fantastic. I feel like I've been on this journey for so long, and I had so many improved health benefits, like even from the get-go. Keto is a diet that's great if you have a lot of body inflammation. I, for years, probably about 6 or 7 years, suffered with carpal tunnel in both of my hands and wrists that, hurt clear up into my shoulders. And 1 month into keto, I have not had any problems with that. You sleep fantastic. You don't have like the aches and pains that you do whenever you're carrying significant weight. I feel 15 years younger, and it seems like maybe I don't really remember how I felt being overweight, but I'm sure this is a definite improvement. But yeah, I just feel great all the time.
What do your kids think?
My kids, I don't really think and they're older, they're 6 and 7 years old. I don't think they really remember what I look like, even though it was such a short time ago. Kids' memories are very, very small, but sometimes they'll be like, oh, Mommy, your belly used to be out to here, and now it's to here. Or my daughter will want to like touch my loose skin. Whatever, if you want to touch it, it's part of me. You'll know whenever you have your child, you're like, it is what it is. Yeah. But they, my one little boy, none of my children are overweight, but my littlest boy, he does like junk food just as much as any other kid does. And even just seeing me make healthier choices has, without prompting for him, has had him make healthier choices. Or even if he is having a treat, realizing what an actual serving is, or what you should be eating. Or maybe since you already had a treat, maybe you should have something else instead. So, and that's important for me, for my kids to see, for me to set a good example. Every parent wants to set a good example for their children. And by me being overweight and not making good choices for myself, even though it hadn't affected my children yet, eventually it would have. And that probably would have fallen on them as well, and they could have potentially ended up having weight issues themselves. Just because you adapt to your surroundings, and if that's what people in your household are eating like, then chances are that's what you're going to eat too. So it's just amazing for me to even see how they're more conscious of the decisions that they're making based on how they see me address my meals and the way that I eat.
Mm-hmm. What else is important about your journey that we haven't discussed? What else do you want to share?
Let let me think. I was trying to make a list earlier this week. There are just a couple things that I know a lot of people, even like personally in my life and on Facebook, will post on pictures and they'll be like, well, you were beautiful before, but you're even more beautiful now. And I just really want people to remember health has nothing to do with beauty. It's not about being beautiful or feeling beautiful. Feeling beautiful is great, but if you're healthy, you're going to feel fantastic. It's not about how people view you. It's how you view yourself. You know, I've always felt I was a beautiful person, and feeling healthier, it takes the beauty means nothing. It's about feeling good for yourself. And I know a lot of people, another thing that really kind of irritates me that's important, I want people to understand, you know, when you do begin a weight loss journey, no matter what kind of diet you go on or way of eating that you follow, everybody will have an opinion about what you're doing. You know, when I was 320 pounds, and if I sat down for breakfast and had a Pop-Tart and a Mountain Dew, nobody would say anything. Because that's the norm. People just grab whatever's quick, they sit there and eat. But, you know, whenever you decide to make a change in the way that you're eating, or, you know, you decide to make big changes in your life like that, everybody suddenly has an opinion about, well, what you're eating, is that really healthy for you? Or do you think you should lose more weight? Or, you know, so it's just like, kind of tune everybody else out. Focus on yourself. It's okay to make yourself number one priority. If it's going to benefit you and your health, it's eventually going to benefit the people that are around you. And as long as you have people supporting you, they're going to allow you to take that time for yourself and to make those good decisions for yourself and to make yourself your first priority.
And what else would you say to someone who is watching this and thinks, yes, I do need to make a change. I do need to get healthier. What's your kind of last words of motivation for them?
You don't have to jump in with both feet. Sometimes whenever you want to jump in with both feet, things get overwhelming and you just back off and you completely stop. If you have to tiptoe or crawl or make just minor changes, as long as you're going in a forward motion and you're building on top of those changes, I feel like you're going to be more successful and you're going to stick with it. Do research. Find what works for you. The keto diet that worked for me might not work for everybody else. You know, but just because something doesn't work doesn't mean that you should stop, or doesn't mean that you should quit. You might just need to make a minor adjustment and find what works for you. And whenever you find what works for you, it'll click and you'll be like, oh my gosh, I can do this. You know, so it's just like small changes make big differences. So if you're starting out, don't think about the big picture. Think about 24 hours. Think about 5 pounds. Think about, you know, small goals. When you're not overwhelmed, you're more likely to stick with something. But always, everybody should work on improving themselves, no matter what it is. You should always have a goal set personally for yourself in a way that you can improve yourself and make small changes, make big changes in your life ultimately.
Anything else you want to say?
No, I just really want to thank you guys for reaching out to me. I just hope that, you know, my story can continue to inspire other people and have people see that it is possible to lose weight on your own. I know that it's not possible or an option for everybody. I don't want anybody to ever think that I'm judgmental and be like, you should be able to do this on your own. Everybody's different, but it's just like, if I can continue to inspire people to make healthier choices for themselves and their families, it's just fantastic. I am glad that I'm getting to share my story.